constitution again. The way the constitution was done was the president to elect his deputy. Let us come up with a new formula whereby deputies should also have a stake in the constitution. So are the deputy governors as well. These people are like toilet papers.
Which people specifically?
Yeah, deputies.
Okay.
Deputy governor, deputy president. Unless we anchor something in the constitution to protect their interests, that is the only way out.
You came together, you go together perhaps?
Yes.
But
as a president, I would have stand, and I will still stand, by making declarations that are within the concept of our manifesto. Nothing wrong with that. Secondly, I've refused to be appointed a minister. I have also refused money. How comes that I did not take the monies that was being given to me during the election to surrender my goal, and also becoming a minister so that I kill this dream? I should have taken that. So I refused. That tells you what kind of character I am. And finally, I speak the way it comes out. I've addressed these issues openly, notoriously.
And saying it the way it is.
And I'm saying it the way it is.
With Professor George Wajakhoya, who is the Roots Party leader, and looking at what it actually does mean, leadership in this country and what direction it should take, obviously putting himself up yet again and saying, look, I want to be able to rule. I want to be able to lead the nation. And we're talking about this political leadership and asking ourselves, okay, so where should we be going? I mean, it clearly is no secret that you, Prof, want to be on the ballots again to put up yourself for leadership of this country. And one must then ask the question, I mean, you talk about who you are and that it's clear what your character is in terms of things that you've turned down, in terms of positions that you've turned down to say, no, the tone from the top must be absolutely different. I have to ask then though, that what in leadership style would be different? Not just you as an individual, but what in leadership style should be and would be different when looking at how Kenya should be led?
Stop lying, just be honest with the people. If there's nothing, if there's no food, just tell people there will be no food. Let us do what we can do, like what happened in Malaysia. When the Prime Minister of Malaysia, the then Prime Minister, I think is the current one, came up and addressed the nation and said, look, Malaysia is bankrupt. Let us do something about this bankruptcy. He asked every man and woman who had gold chains, silver, to donate to the government so that the government could rescue itself. And it's that honesty upon which the foundation of economic development made Malaysia to become a leader in the tiger economy. So a good leader is that leader who is very honest with himself, with his wife and children, his relatives, and what have you. Like now, for example, people beg me for money and I tell them I don't have it. And even if I have it, I'll not give it to you. It will go for development. So you either go to that one who has the money and vote for him, or vote for me so that we can move. So honesty is key, integrity is number 2. Let's look at the background of somebody for the last 15 years before we talk to him. Look at me, go do your own research. Find out who this man Wajakhoya was, apart from the lunacy that came up from the bishops that particular time when they were saying, oh, we mutu ya bangi, we ataharibu watoto wetu. But they did not find out exactly where I was coming from. I'm now glad that the churches are now calling me to find out. So honesty, integrity must be a manifesting factor in you, and it must relate back to the last 20 years. How many wives do you have? How many children do you have? Let anyone that you have ever sired a child with come out in open. And I'm even appealing, if I have any, let them come out and say, Wajakhoya nipatia mimba mtoto ndio huyu. Yeah, so honesty is something that you cannot bargain with.
Wajakhoya, you've raised something about the position we find ourselves as a republic goes back to the electorate. Electorates have put us in, we find ourselves in this space because of the decisions that we made. How do we then, moving forward, that the electorate are positioned, are put in a place where they make the right decisions and champion them towards that?
I think the best example I can give today before I answer your question is the people of the Kikuyu tribe. The Kikuyus, I really respect them for one thing. They know the meaning of voting. They know the meaning of voting just like the Indian nationals know. They know who to vote for, and they know why. When they were voting for the current status quo, they were voting because they knew what they were going to get out of it. And they indeed voted in bloc. Mm-hmm. They're the only people who can come up and say, no, let us vote for reality. But if you go to our people, the Luyas and the Luo community, I will start with the Luyas. With the Luya, you must give something.
For your vote? Or
with the Luya, if you give him 50 shillings when he's on the way to the voting, to the polling station, he will turn around. Or he'll give you his vote and then you'll do away with it. The sanctification of the mind is very key, especially the older generation. Let us now divide the Gen Z generation and the older generation. And let us equip the Gen Z generation with votes. Allow them to go and wachukue kura. Probably those ones will be the ones that will vote for the right people because they know what it is. They have done research. They have been born within these people. They have been told to be the leaders of tomorrow. They have sanctified their minds and they have decided and they have come up with an analogy of leadership. Lakini hii mambo ya old school, as I stay here and as I say that I'm running for elections, if we are going to continue with what we have today, I'm sure I will not win. I will not win based on the fact that these people's mindsets are, huyu ni mtoto wa nani, ako na pesa gani, babake alikuwa nani, anatoka tribe gani, anatoka clan gani. Unless we do away with that holistically.
How do you do away with it? Because the point you raise is a valid one. And it is argued that those who want to aspire for a higher position of political leadership, you start by having a visible backing from your backyard. Now, if, as you say, the backyard you come from, people must be given something before, something here means money, before they even move towards the ballot. And you have clearly said you will not give.
I will not give what I don't have. And even if I have, I will not give the interests that I'm supposed to be paying on the loan. So if that's the way it is, so it be.
Let's look at what is currently happening in leadership in this country. And if you think, I mean, obviously it's clear that you think that it is not working, right? In just a few weeks ago, we saw the removal of Deputy President. We saw that a new Deputy President was installed. Do you think that would be the panacea to the problems that may be happening? And what were your overall thoughts about that? Because it is very important when we look at then how that mantle is carried moving forward.
I think it's the